Do you think they should Do you think they can change? Do you think they can not all of them, but do you think there's some minds that can be changed because of Black Lives Matter and education about equality and things like that?
So, can racists be changed?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think for some it's more difficult for some people to comprehend than others. Right, ready.
Right, we'll switch it about this time. Okay. Hi, I'm here with Josh and
Lennox and Leslie.
Perfect. Let's get started. So today's podcast is going to be on a mixture of things, but we're going to have a higher emphasis on Black Lives Matter today. And I'll give you a little bit of information on Leslie before he introduces himself. So Leslie is one of our best mates in the base, and he was one of I'd say the heart of. Is it fair to say the heart of the base, Lennox?
I wouldn't really say I'm the heart of the base. That's a bit serious.
But a good part of our happy times at Priestley. So what's been going on with you, Leslie, in the last 6 months or so?
I've been drawing, getting into animation because that is what I want to do in university. So, because I'm not in uni right now. So, yeah. But I have been practicing some animation, been posting on my Twitter. Other than that, because of coronavirus, not much really. Other than that, so yeah.
Well, introductions are done. I'll get started with a couple. I can't speak today. Get started with a couple of the clips that I have prepared. I just thought it's situations that white people like me are not aware of, and I thought it'd be interesting to shed some light on. So let me see if I can. I've got too many screens up. Let me see if I can share this. Right. So I've got 3 different situations, but I'll share the first one with you. But all the clips are collectively the clips are about 5 minutes. So this is the first one. Also, I've had a bit and play.
Okay. Mr. Lawrence says Tiger Woods is going to break barriers in golf.
Great putt.
Mr. Lawrence says I'm breaking barriers in Haynes Academy too.
Is that right?
Yeah. Because they never had a black kid on the debate team.
I didn't know that. Look at you.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not saying it'll be as hard for me as it was for Jackie Robinson and Muhammad Ali, but it'll still be hard for me,
You're going to do just fine, Randall. You are insanely smart, charming, and you're going to do just fine wherever you want to go in life.
Thanks.
When I was younger, I never felt welcome at country clubs. People thought I didn't make enough money or have the right job. Probably why I stopped playing. I let those people get to me.
That's not what I'm saying, Dad.
No, I know what you're saying. I do. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that nobody gets in your way or holds you back.
Okay. Thanks.
We said a word in the last couple holes.
I don't think I want to play anymore.
Randall, come on. We got 4 more holes to go, and you know we don't quit what we started.
We quit the dojo. Do you remember that dojo that we went to a few years back with all the other black families?
Yeah?
We went a few times, but then we stopped.
You said you didn't want to learn karate anymore.
Yeah, but you won't let me quit soccer or baseball. You don't want me to quit golf.
I don't quite follow you here, Randall.
Forget it. Can we please just go home?
Hold on a second. Where's this coming from? Is this Mr. Lawrence again?
No, you just don't get it.
What don't I get?
What you said before. About feeling weird at some country club golf course.
Okay.
You felt uncomfortable at a golf course, and I probably wouldn't have even been allowed on it.
Kiddo, I am sorry, okay? That was a stupid thing to say. I don't look at you and see color. I see my son.
Then you don't see me, Dad.
So that was the first clip. What is your guys' opinions on it?
Yeah,
Leslie's
first
a
question. Yeah, is this from a movie as well?
It's from a TV series called This Is Us.
That was pretty nice, honestly. Yeah, honestly, I do get what he means. Yeah, like I think there's like a kind of, you tend to try and understand how it feels like, but like it's kind of more different than that, to be honest. I mean, for me anyway, like I wouldn't really say that like most other black people, like I've went through a lot of like stuff where I'm not allowed somewhere, you know, because I'm black. So I don't know if it ever happened to you, Lennox, but you know, yeah. As for me, it's not something that happened to me. But I think there is this like kind of wanting to connect with others, but it's like it's kind of difficult to do that. You know, it's a lot of different experiences, you know, that we have between like white people and black people as well.
Mm-hmm.
What's your opinion on the clip, Lennox?
I think Leslie summed it up perfectly, to be honest. Yeah, I think Leslie summed it up perfectly. There's just times where like you just don't feel like you fit in or you belong, and it's kind of hard for like other people, like for example, like the kid was saying, like for like white people to understand it. It's one of those things where you have to be black to understand what we go through, if that makes sense.
You have to like live it to fully get it.
Yeah.
I've got another clip. I feel like this might divide opinions a bit more. I've shown it to Lennox before, and I thought it was quite interesting, Lennox's opinion, and I agree with it mostly. But yeah, I'm interested to see what you think of this clip, Leslie.
Your Honor, Randall has been with us for over a year.
Look, let me save you some time by being direct. I don't believe that child belongs in your home.
What?
Excuse me.
That child belongs with a black family, Mr. and Mrs. Pearson. How else will he see himself, understand who he is?
Because we will teach him all of that.
Yeah.
You will teach him. Yeah. Mrs. Pearson, I was 9 years old before I understood that I was black. Now, I understood my skin color, the color of my friends, my parents, but I never really understood what my blackness meant until a white man called me a nigger. And my father sat me down and he explained to me what that word meant. And he didn't sympathize or feel sorry for me because he understood all the pain that that word elicits. My father had been called that word more times in his life than he can count. Now you see, what you have In your possession is a black child who will grow up to become a black man, and my fear is that he won't have the tools he needs in his life if he stays in your home.
I'm sorry, sir. With all due respect, to your opinion, our son was left in a box outside of a fire station.
And there are places and there are people who will care for him until he can be paired with a suitable family. Now, that's my opinion. It will not change. Now, I said that this is inappropriate. I will see you at your next court date.
So, what do you guys think of that? I'll have Leslie first again.
Yeah, so that's actually a pretty interesting clip as well, actually, because what the guy was saying is, I would say is true, to be honest. Like, don't get me wrong, like a black child being adopted by a white family, I don't see any problem with that. You should go ahead and adopt a black child, if you want to. So, but it's like when it comes to when they're older, there is a lot of things that like a black child might grow older and not understand. For example, there's a lot of things I've went through because I'm in a black family. There's just like these kind of like auras, I guess, or like kind of experiences that like a lot of black people go through, and they all like connect with each other for that kind of reason. But then if you're like raised by white parents, you wouldn't always get that kind of like same experience as other black people. You might feel like you need to also like blend in and somewhat like have to be like, I don't know, like a white person, I guess. So yeah, it's like, but you never will be, a white person. So that kind of like you wanted to be a white person, but you're not a white person. It's just gonna like keep going until like you really like recognize that you are black and you can accept that, really.
Yeah, very powerful. That I think you have a similar view, don't you, Lennox? From what you've told me in the past.
I pretty much agree with Leslie. Yeah.
Nice. I've got the final clip for us, guys. I'll play it now.
You hesitated back there with those kids when you introduced me.
I didn't hesitate.
Yeah, you did. I'm not mad. I get it. What it must be like to meet new people that don't know you or us.
I hesitated. But not because you're white. But because you're old.
I'm not that old.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, kiddo.
But Dad, you know how you felt at Howard? When you thought I hesitated because you're white? How you were kind of mad about it, but couldn't exactly say why? I feel like that all the time. Not from you guys, but, from everybody else. I feel like that ever since I was little. I mean, not that that's your fault.
Oh, Randall, come on. Come on, I get it.
I just feel like I'm always gonna feel this way. Not like mad, but just off balance. Like everything's just gonna be a little bit more complicated for me.
Let's make one more stop. Got something I want to show you.
So that's the final clip. So what are your views? This time, do you want to start, Lennox?
Madness. Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, that was a really powerful clip, to be fair. I kind of related to that a lot. I was literally like hearing it, I was like, wow, like there's so many times where I've like felt like that, you know, like times where you like don't fit in, like but there's times where you feel like things will be more difficult for you. Like the other day I was actually thinking about like careers and what I'm going to do in the future, and I was like, I'm just like worried that like maybe I'll have less chances to actually get the job that I want just because of my ethnicity and where I'm from, you know, and people like shouldn't have to worry or even think about that just because of their skin color or their ethnicity or their background or whatever. Like everyone should just have equal opportunities. And I don't know, but like the kid said, like you just always feel like things will be much harder for you like as time goes on, and there's not really much we can do about it but accept it and just work as hard as possible to get where we want to be, essentially. Yeah.
Leslie, what's your viewpoint on this one?
Yeah, honestly, I also agree with Lennox there. There's been sometimes like in my life where I feel like, for example, like, you know, taking art as well. I always feel like, you know, it's taking like, because there's like a lot of like white people, you know, that I meet as new friends and all that, and I'm thankful that, you know, like a lot of them don't like just, you know, look at me different or, you know, start like assuming something about me. But it's like sometimes I do feel like, you know, being around a lot of them, like I feel like I don't belong, because like it's such like a place in England, you know, like there's a lot of white people, but then there's also black people, you know. I'm thankful I've met the black people that I have met, and that kind of like makes me feel a little bit more welcomed in, you know, because there's nothing wrong with like me, a bunch of white people, if you are black. It's just like when you don't meet a lot of black people, you start to like feel like you're losing yourself. You're not really yourself. You're not around people who can connect with you more. It's kind of like if you're just into like, I don't know, fantasy kind of books, for example, but you're not never around like anyone who's also into fantasy. So it's like you can't really connect with them as much. So, you know, and also, you know, so admitting, oh, you know, like if if you do have like, for example, a white dad, but you're black and you are introducing him to your black friends, you don't want to like kind of embarrass yourself or something like that. Because, you know, I think also with black people as well, it's kind of like this trying to make yourself seem like, yeah, you know, like, guys, yeah, I am like just like you guys, you know. But I think that needs to like kind of be lowered down, you know. It's not that too big of a deal. But yeah, that's kind of what I think anyway, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. I feel like it's been interesting to get an insight from you guys because obviously it's like a tough topic, so it's not like a thing you can just bring up at the breakfast table, is it? But
yeah,
it's it's interesting to have hear your guys' perspectives really, because there's no other way I can kind of find out other than from people who've lived it. But yeah, thank you for sharing your viewpoints on those. I've got a couple of questions about Black Lives Matter and things like that, if you guys are okay with answering those.
Yeah, that's fine.
So first question is, do you feel like Black Lives Matter has helped equality for black people? First starting off with Leslie and then going on to Lennox.
I think, I think Black Lives Matter has helped for equality for other black people as well. I once saw like a clip of this guy who, you know, admitted that he was, you know, once racist, you know, for a time, but has like later accepted, you know, black people as being part of like America. And, you know, like I would have to thank, you know, Black Lives Matter for that kind of reason. But like with a lot of things, there's always like two sides, you know, to everything. And what you mostly see on like the media is like, oh, you know, Black Lives Matter like movement, you know, robbing, fighting in the streets and all that. And it is like that is something that is also happening as well. But like it's quite weird to keep focusing on that, whereas like focusing on like the positives that it's done as well, because like that's really just human nature, to be honest. Like you can even see the Capitol building as well. Like there was like a bunch of people rioting there as well. And that wasn't for Black Lives Matter movement. It's just really just like human beings themselves, So yeah, that's what I think. I think like overall, yeah, it has at least brought the attention that Black people are, equals, to white people and like any other race. So yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of the negatives of the movement are actually that you're describing there, Leslie, is from Trump's time in office, because like he amplified, like it was such a small amount of people who were looting shops and stuff, and he over amplified that, and then with a cap from I think it might have been like you were saying the Capitol building, he wanted to take a picture of him holding the Bible. But then he held it upside down, and just for that photo shoot, he like tear gas protesters and like had loads of police brutality just so he could take a photo of him holding the Bible the wrong way around.
Yeah.
Madness. Anyway, Lennox, what's your opinion on Black Lives Matter?
Sorry, boys. Bro, my mum keeps texting me. It's annoying. She wants me to buy stuff for her. Goodness. Black Lives Matter. What? Just my opinion on it in general, or?
Do you think it has helped equality for Black people?
I don't know. I don't think I'd use the word helped, but I'd definitely say it's helping. I'd say it's like progressive. Like it's definitely making things a bit more easier than they were before. I feel like it's making more people aware of like the injustice and like inequalities that are about, and like most of the inequalities are like kind of low key, like those little subtle ones that people don't fully realize until like you're told or like shown about it. But I don't know, like for example, like during like the lockdown period where we had the whole George Floyd incident, we saw everyone coming together and standing together for, we saw many protests and, many people standing up for what's right. And it was really cool to see, I think Black Lives Matter is something that we've needed for like a long time, like people to stand up for themselves and to show like the government and racists, like it's not okay, and everyone deserves a fair chance in life, no matter what skin color, what background you're from. The only part I don't like about it is the fact that some people don't really take it seriously. They just kind of view it as a trend. Like for example, like people had in their like Insta stories like hashtag Black Lives Matter or like hashtag Blackout Tuesday, but like they don't really like, it's not really helping. If you're just putting that if you're just doing that as a trend, you're not really helping spread the awareness. Like the whole point is to educate yourself on the injustices and about Black people, etc. So if you're just viewing it as a trend, then you're not really doing much help, if I'm being honest. That's not what the campaign's about,
Yeah, exactly what you've just said there, Lennox, is one of my questions actually.
Oh, mad.
I've said, so because you've kind of said what you've got to think about it on this one, I'll ask Leslie my two questions that I was going to ask. Do you feel like Black Lives Matter was just a trend for some people, and was Blackout Tuesday effective, or just people who are like signaling, virtual signaling, they call it, just to make themselves look good?
I think, some people definitely treat it as a trend. I know there was this one girl in my first year art class who said the N-word like a bunch of times. But then like come like, Black Lives Matter movement, and she's like saying, Black Lives Matter, don't be saying the N-word. And I'm like, wow, that is pretty hypocritical of you to say something like that. But I think like some people like talk about it, make themselves like seem good, and then leave it. They don't like talk about it anymore because yeah, because it just doesn't affect them all too much. And then for Blackout Tuesday, I don't think it really like helped a lot because it like what would it really do? Like there's not much that putting your profile picture to be just black would do at all. Yeah, I don't think that it was very effective for the movement.
Made no sense. Like, oh, let me post a black screen. Equality.
Yeah,
Sick. Nice help.
It's not really much.
Yeah, it's not doing anything at all. Yeah, it's dead.
Even as a white person, I found it confusing. I was just like, why are these random like people just putting black screens? Like,
yeah,
it's kind of like putting "Don't be racist" full stop on a post.
Yeah, and then just you ended racism there.
Yeah, Blackout Tuesday, but we may as well start celebrating Black Friday. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every week, why not?
Every week.
Every week.
Now this question's kind of a deep one. When did you realize you were black? And by that I mean like when did you realize that like society was kind of it's like so. I try not to use swears in this podcast, but so fucked up that like there's a difference in how people are treated just because of their race.
Well, would Lennox go first or?
Good point. Go on, you go. Yeah, I'll let you go first this time, Lennox.
Oh, Snickers. When did I realize I was black? Goodness, you can't just spring that up on me out of nowhere. Goodness. Okay. When I first realized I was black, I say so when I was little, like Leslie mentioned before, like especially during like primary, etc. Like where I used to live was populated with a lot of like white people. There's very rarely a lot of black people. There's a lot of white kids. So I used to hang out with a lot of white kids. And I used to realize that I didn't really fit in because, well, one of the reasons being was because I think after school, that's when like the white kids would go out and hang out and like go like to the park or something. But my parents didn't really let me go out. So I was always really upset. Like I used to get invited out. They'd always be like, oh, Lennox. They always used to knock on my door and be like, can Lennox come out? And my parents would always tell them no. And I always used to be so upset because I really wanted to fit in, but and then my parents told me that like they made me realize that like that's when I got like the talk essentially, the sit down talk of like what it means to be black and how I'd be treated differently for my color and how I'm more exposed essentially to like dangers out there in the world and the injustices that I'll more likely face. Like I'm more likely to be a target than the other kids, So it's just one of those things where I had to learn the importance of my skin color and who I am as a person and kind of accept it. But yeah, it did definitely made things a lot harder, especially to fit in. But I think once you figure yourself out and who you are and be proud of it, like don't see it as like a disadvantage to be black. Like when I was a kid, I'll admit I used to see it as a disadvantage, but now like I feel proud to be black every day. Like especially Black Lives Matter, like that helped me so much realize that we as a community are very strong and very powerful, and there's so much we can achieve no matter what other people think. So yeah, it's just one of those things where like I think it's good to be taught from when you're young, because when you're older, like all those life lessons, like they really just connect with you more, and you start to remember them like you were told them yesterday. And yeah, I feel like they resonate with you a lot more and a lot deeper as well. Yeah. That's my thoughts on it. Yeah.
Yeah. As for me, I would say like because I was having this discussion as well with my brother and sister yesterday. I think like when I was in primary school, like I didn't really think much about the fact that like other kids were white and I'm black. I acted like a lot like them, to be honest. Because I literally didn't meet like a lot of black kids. when I was younger. Only when I went to church is when like I'd see like a lot of like black kids and all that, like my age as well. So that was like pretty surprising for me. So I remember when I was like in year 8, my brothers always used to like talk about like their friend, and he was also black, and like I always like thought like I don't really have a friend that is black. There's some like black kids I've met, but I can never like kind of connect with them. So, but like I think when I went to like when I moved schools, like that's when like I met a lot more black people, and I kind of like started to realize like like yeah, I'm somewhat just different, but that's like fine, because like yeah, I haven't like I don't get into like rapping kind of thing, like that's not like what all black people are about. That's not like what the fundamental bits about being black is. It's like it's just something that you have to accept in yourself, and it was actually like my brothers that helped me realize that as well, and also my mum that helped me realize that. So I'm thankful for them for helping me actually like realize that black people in this world like exist, and they come in different kind of like ways, and I think also being in Britain helped that as well, because like there's a lot of different black people. There's like an African black person, there's a British black person, there's an American black person. We're all blacks, we just come from different places, and so we have like different kind of ways that we go about our day. So I think it's not really a goal for us to all act like African American, but like be black, I guess. Yeah.
Anything further to add on that, Lennox?
Yeah, I think that was good. I like the point where you dress up. There's different like types of like black people that you can meet, especially I think UK as well. Like, there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of different types you can meet, and I mean, back when we were kids, like barely saw black people. I remember like whenever I saw a black person when I was a kid, another black like kid, I'd be like shocked. I was like seeing a rare Pokemon. I was like, oh my gosh, like I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was so weird because I don't know. But then I think church as well. I don't know if you have it, Leslie, but like, do you know when you go church? I go to like some African church.
Yeah.
And like the first time I went, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is what I'm feeling right now. It's undescribable. Like I don't know, the feeling that you get in like a black church is like you just can't find it anywhere else. Like the atmosphere when you're singing the hymns, like
yeah, there's like a lot of standing up, a lot of like energy there as well.
Yeah, it's incredible. Love it. Yeah.
I think it's kind of interesting because like obviously I bet like the church feels a bit like a safe haven because it's like everyone's together as like a community.
Yeah, it very much was. It did feel like that, to be honest. It's like we all connected with each other a lot. I remember like the first time I went to like a black church, there was these two guys that like I didn't really connect with. Somewhat just did not like them, to be honest, and like we just didn't have much in common. But I decided to like start getting to know them a little bit more and notice that like they have a lot in common with me. And it was like sad for me, like when I was then, because then I was going to be like moving houses, so like be far away from that church as well. So that'll be the last time that I saw them. So like I was actually sad, leaving them as well, even though a couple like weeks ago, I didn't really like these guys, like there wasn't much connection, but like now, remembering back, like no, we were very much alike, and that is where you find like a lot of people like that, like a lot more like black people, and even like what is it? I think like a couple, like I think in last year December, I went to London, so I went to the Nigerian embassy, and like I'll tell you, like that is the most I've ever seen black people in one building. Like, it was quite weird to me. So yeah, but there was like a lot of people that was like, it was very recognizable. So, you know, it just felt like natural to me. So yeah.
Now this is like, I've kind of recently thought about this because in my social work course, we did about like mental health conditions and stuff, and a famous actor who was like one of the main characters in a TV series, long form television series called Homeland. The actor David, I think it's David Harwood, he ended up having psychosis, and after a year or so, he got back to his normal self. But he said that one of the factors for his psychosis was discrimination. So that kind of made me think of like, obviously not to this level, but do you like, not on David's level, but do you feel like you know, regular racism and you know, structural inequalities, etc., has affected your mental health on a daily and like, you know, a regular basis?
I think as for me, I said before, like, you know, I didn't go through too much like kind of discrimination for being black. Like, I know my younger sister did, and you know, it's like, is that kind of like, when you hear that, it's like, why? How could they, like, you know, think that way? I mostly see stuff like said about black people on like Twitter, really, and it's like that kind of place, like, you know, it kind of makes you start like wondering, like how there's like a post like talking about how, you know, black women, you know, they're not like as good looking as white women, and you know, that starts like, you know, question, like, it made my sister like, you know, starts to like think like, you know, is she attractive, you know? But like, at the end of the day, you know, like, in like contrast, I was like, while she was seeing like a post like that, I was also seeing a post where like there was people praising black women, you know. So it's like, at the end of the day, like, that's like a bunch of people who aren't really happy with their lives, you know, and you know, just want to have something to argue on the internet. But yeah, the discrimination for black people, it's quite abundant. Um, and like, there's a lot of discrimination for like a bunch of other people, but like, when it comes to black people, like, you know, if you go to like an Asian country like Japan, or like North Korea or South Korea, you know, it's also pretty different there. Like, I remember one time watching this YouTuber who once went to Japan, and there was like a lot of people in Japan that was, you know, going to be assuming that, oh, you know, you're gonna like steal something, or, you know, what do you actually bring to Japan here? Like, would you be useful? Because they just thought like, oh yeah, you're this kind of stereotype, like, you know, you're a thug, that kind of thing. So there's like some discrimination that's on purpose, and some of them is like, they don't know any better. But I don't think like, you know, we should then just like forget about it, or, you know, they don't know any better. You know, I think it's education. Like, especially like in the Asian countries, to understand that, you know, black people aren't just like, you know, for your amusement, or just like weird people that you might see, you know, so you should just be like looking at them weirdly. So yeah, I think it's just about education and helping people from a young age to, you know, also see black people in an equal kind of way as well. So yeah.
Lennox, that's a hard act to follow. What's your response?
Wait, do you know what was the question again? 'Cause I was actually bamboozled by Leslie's answer. I was like, goodness me.
So
Speech.
how has your mental health been affected by discrimination?
Do you know what? I think there's a very big factor, like similar to what Leslie said, like in terms of like the stereotypes. I think one of the biggest factors for stereotypes of like black people is definitely social media, because social media has created a platform of like memes and like jokes of like black people traditions, like, you know, jokes about slavery. There's stuff about black people having like being used for like sexual pleasure, this and that. black people can run faster, all good at sports, you know, picking cotton, stuff like all this stuff, and people are using it for their own amusement, you know, and it's just like, it's just disgusting, and like people actually end up believing this stuff because this is all like the knowledge they have about black people, so they just see it as like fact when it's not actually real. It's actually not true, like at all. Like black people are just normal people, and like Leslie said, I think education, like the more people that can be educated, I think if they're educated from where they're like younger, I think once you're younger, like the younger they are, like I feel like they should be educated a lot more, so that by the time they grow up, they'll be like more aware essentially, and less like oblivious to all these like memes and jokes and stuff. Yeah, I think social media has played a big part in that.
Yeah, I think like one of the biggest ones for me is like the whole, you know, black people are athletic, they're tall, you know, very strong. Yeah, I'm not anything like that, but like for a long time, I felt like I had to be tall. And, you know, I just hated my height because, like, you know, I'm not tall like most of the black people. You know, I'm not as athletic as most other black people that I've seen. So, you know, but like eventually you just accept, you know, you're also a normal, you know, human being as well. You know, like most of the people, you know, like there's not. There are some black people that you will meet that are a lot like you know, that don't go ahead and start doing like, you know, running and aren't like really fast, you know, and that's like okay because you're a human being at the end of the day as well. So yeah, you know, it's just seeing everyone equal, but while also accepting that, you know, yeah, they're black, you know. Yeah.
Do you like? I know Leslie said you don't get discriminated as much in like the grand scale of things, but do you kind of both feel like you kind of get desensitized after a while because like you've seen it either on social media or like in real life so much over the years? If Lennox, you start, and then Leslie after.
Oh, my internet's moving mad. I don't even know if I'm live right now. Am I?
Yeah.
Do we read the question again?
Yeah. My internet's moving mad. Okay.
Do you get desensitized by discrimination because it happens so much?
What do you mean desensitized? Like kind of like what do you think? Like it doesn't affect you as much anymore.
Yeah, because it like happens so much. You're like, oh well, I've heard this before.
I mean, I think I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't think we get desensitized to it because like every time it happens, like every time like you hear someone, for example, like if you get called the N-word, every single time someone says it, it still like hurts you deep down. Even though we don't show it, it still like hits you deep down. It's like, wow, like that actually like hurt, you know? But I feel like you can never ever get used to it. Like I think we can get used to like the types of stereotypes that people portray you as. Like people say like, oh, if you're athletic and just like classic stereotypical, very stereotypical. But I feel like every time like you hear like a little racist comment or any form of racism comes your way, you can never truly get used to it. I think it's just one of those things where even though you can accept it and, you know, learn about it and understand that the people like don't understand what they're doing, like it still hurts to some extent. But I don't think you can ever truly like deep down anyway like be desensitized to it. It's just one of those things that will always hit you hard, I think.
Yeah. Honestly, like desensitized. Yeah, I would also have to agree with Lennox as well. Like I'm not desensitized by it. Like if someone says like the N-word, you know, it's never like directly at me. They're just saying the N-word. But I do tell them like, you know, why are you saying the N-word? It's like no reason for you to say it. Like personally for me, yeah, I don't say the N-word. I've never said the N-word before. It's just like I just don't do it. But it's just like crazy to me like that some people just want to say it, or some people like on the internet, for example, like will go on like whole arguments as to why can't they not say it? You know, it's really simple. It's just don't say it. You know, and again leads back into the whole like, you know, you just gotta like not just like let it phase out, you know, because like just letting it be as it is, you know, it's not gonna help anything. It's just gonna like make them think that when they say the N-word, nah, you know, it's fine, you know, like they should say it. Instead of like, you know, telling them, you know, like it's not right, you know, like you shouldn't really be saying something like that, you know, like especially when you're around, you know, a black person, you know, like don't be saying that word and just think, yeah, they're completely fine with it, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, because like I've watched a lot of videos from some black YouTubers I know. From Abram Preach is like one of my favorite YouTubers, and they were saying like people are having this debate about whether they should say like the N-word in rap songs and stuff, and they were saying how stupid it is, because like it's just a stupid argument. You should just not say it, because there's like greater issues to discuss about racism. But yeah, so my next question is what resources should people look at to educate themselves, for people who are not as like well informed as other people?
I'd say like asking like another black person is very useful, you know, like if you were to think like, oh, if I said this, would it be wrong, you know? Asking like, you know, a black person is very useful. But like, you know, Google is like a big place. You can find like a lot of answers there. And just like parts of like just social media in general can help inform you about these things, because like there's a lot of black people who know more about like, you know, the history of black people, and you know the kind of traditions and cultures that come with that. And like, say for instance, like if you want to have a certain hairstyle, you know, it's not the fact that like, yo, you know, like should I have it on, like is it you know bad for me to have that on, would it be seen as offensive? And you really just like, you know, ask someone, like ask a black person, or you know, go on to like, you know, Google, or find out like about the history of that hairstyle, for example, you know. But I think like a black person would tell it to you like, you know, kind of straight, or at least like more digestible than just searching it on Google, that like, you know, no, like, you know, this isn't fine, or no, that's fine, you know, like you don't need to worry about that. So I think it's like just in each other, educating others why it's wrong or why it's okay, is like one of the best ways to help them, because you know we're humans and we, you know, understand each other in some senses. So like when we explain it to other people from our perspective, you know, it's much more easier to understand than, you know, just looking at info on Google and you might not understand what they're talking about, you know. But yeah.
So Lennox, you've got anything else to add from that in terms of resources that are worth checking out, or do you like pretty much agree with Leslie in that, you know, it's good to talk to someone else who's you know, who's black, so you can get a personal insight?
I think both. I think I agree with Leslie. Like I like what Leslie said about Google. Like Google is literally a blessing, because anything you want to know, you can just search it up, and literally in just one search you can find so many resources, so many websites, so many links to a lot of information, you know. Like if you want to learn about Martin Luther King, just search it up on Google. If you want to learn about Nelson Mandela, search it up on his, like the Montgomery bus boycott. If you want to learn about that, you can just Google that. So yeah, it's just a lot of things where like Google's like provided a platform where like people can like educate yourself and literally about anything, which is a blessing, I think. But I do agree with like asking a black person, like, because like when you ask like an actual like black person about like their perspective, I feel like they're able to convey it a lot more differently. Because like when you talk to, it's like, for example, when you speak to someone in person, it's a lot different than speaking to someone then online, if you know what I mean. I feel like in person you can definitely like they're able to convey their experiences and their message across a lot more with a lot more like conviction. So yeah, like you can, I feel like, yeah, Google asking a black person, but you know, like I'm still learning. Like even though like I'm black, like we're all like still learning. You know, we've still got so much to learn about our history and you know where we've come from and stuff like that. So there's always you can always learn. You know.
Yeah, like I've heard a lot of people say it's like a continual progress that like you learn throughout life. You never kind of stop learning about stuff. Like I've only been able to do a tiny bit of research through because coincidentally my social work module is a lot about race. So I've only learned like 2 hours worth of like stuff, but I bet there's like you know years worth of stuff to still like research and understand.
Yeah, there's like a lot to kind of learn from that as well, and you know, like not every black person has you know the answers, which is why you know Google's also very important because like you know that's where you can also get information from. If they don't have like the answer, you know, then you know there's always Google. But yeah, like Lance was saying, you know, talking to a person shows like their conviction, how important it is. Whereas, you know, like if you're reading like text, you wouldn't really get that kind of experience. You wouldn't like see why it's like so important to them. So yeah.
So the next one is, I feel like you kind of already said this, but briefly on this one, have you ever got called racial slurs?
I think no, I wouldn't say like not in a serious manner. It's more of like in a joking kind of way. But even then, you know, like I don't always like just yeah, that's fine, you know, that kind of thing. Whenever like you know, white friend like make a black joke, they've never really like you know, fun like just said the N word. Though like you know, that might be like once or twice, and you know, have to remind them, you know. But other than that, though, like I think it's not like racial slurs, but like black stereotypes. Really, that is most that I get.
Yeah, I think that's it's good to get like an insight into like because it's like daily basis stuff that you kind of I wouldn't pick up on. But yeah. Lennox, what do you want to put your side of it?
Wait, can you guys hear me? I'm worried my internet's tripping.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm good. Racial slur. Yeah, I agree. It's not when people say it like it's never been like in a way like you're the N-word, like you know, like they've meant it like aggressively. They always do it in like a jokey way. Like I know I've been called monkey like here and there. And then there's like little subtle comments like about, for example, like chocolate and stuff like that, you know, just little subtle like jokes. But nothing like, but they always say it in a joke way. Now, whether or not that's a cover up or they're just, you know, saying what they've seen. Well, obviously it's funny to them because, you know, memes nowadays, like, you know, they've just made it like almost like appropriate for it to be like said out loud. Like, for example, like Josh was on about the songs, etc. Like from rappers like put like the N-word in the songs and now people are just saying it like, you know, so casually, and it's like it shouldn't be said like at all. Like even I don't like I agree with Leslie, like, I don't even say it as well myself. But you know, it's just one of those things really. But I agree. Mainly in a jokey way, never like seriously. Anyway. Yeah.
Now this is kind of linking into what you guys have just said, but could you give a few examples of how you've been discriminated in the past?
Goodness.
I know it's a deep one.
Yeah, that is a deep one, actually. I even think as well. Why was I discriminated? Oh, there's just like one guy in my game design class. Sometimes like he mentions the fact that, you know, I'm short, you know, no, I don't really do athletics. And sometimes, a disgrace to black people. And he says it in a kind of joking way, but I never really like it whenever he says that. And it's like, it's not something that I'm just going to like, just let it like roll. Like it's fine, It just like kind of, when you say something like that, like on the surface, they might say, oh, don't be saying stuff like that. But deep down, like it can very much affect them, because it might be something that they have been thinking about like for a while. So it's like, it's not, it goes deeper than just oh, because they're black. It goes to a point where it's like, I have had that kind of feeling of like inferiority, because I've seen like media, black people are this, black people are that. So when that's actually said, it's like out loud towards me, it's like, wow, it does kind of hurt, yeah.
So that was a really good answer from Leslie. You got anything to add, Lennox?
Yeah, I've been discriminated in terms of like, I think I've been discriminated in like what I wear. Like sometimes, like remember during pre-sale, I used to like wear a bandana.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember I got a few comments about that. How I was like being like very stereotypical, and like I remember some person was like, "Wow, you're really like becoming black now." And I was like, at the time, they said it in a joke way, so I didn't really take it seriously. But I guess the more I think about it, I'm like, wow, like that was actually quite offensive, like.
Yeah, it's like you've always been black, becoming black,
Yeah,
like,
I know. It's like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
It's like, we should be allowed to wear whatever we want, listen to any form of music we want. It doesn't matter whether we're athletic or not, like, and if we're not these stereotypes, that doesn't mean we're not black. Like, I remember I used to be called the whitest black man that, the person knows. And I was like, what the hell does that even mean? Like, I don't get it. It's so weird. Yeah, these stereotypes are like, yeah, it's kind of like stopping us from like becoming, like trying to stop us from who we actually want to be. And like, if we don't be these stereotypes, it's like we're not fully black. Like, I really don't understand that whole concept, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 2 more questions. They're both pretty deep actually. But the first one I'm going to ask is, I'll start with Lennox first this time, because you went second the other time. Do you worry about the world that your siblings are going into because of racism?
So I'm assuming this is younger siblings.
Yes.
Okay, I said that for Leslie because all my siblings are younger, but I know Leslie has younger siblings and older siblings as well. Well, personally, for me, I guess all my siblings are younger, so yeah, like I do my bit in terms of like trying to get them to understand like what it's like to be black, like the types of things that you have to be more cautious about, I'd say, than like typical white kids, I'd say. But to be honest, I guess all we can do is play our part, right? In like trying to spread as much awareness as possible. Like the whole Black Lives Matter movement, I think that's doing a good job. I feel like if that continues, then like more like kids will be educated, and then hopefully like even maybe not even in our lifetime, but maybe in like next like future generations, at least like hopefully there'll be a society where there's equality for everyone. There's no more injustices. I mean, that's like the ideal like goal that we want. But I guess we can still do our bit to educate, especially the youth, our siblings as well, and just kind of spread awareness. I think that's it. Let them be aware of who they are and figure out where they're from. I think that's the most important. Understanding who they are, for sure, and make sure that they never lose touch of that, for sure. Yeah.
So do you mean like making sure it's like part of their identity so they don't like forget about that?
I think it's about making them realize that it's part of their identity. and making them to understand that they need to accept it and it's okay to be who they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as for me, yeah, I agree with Lennox. It's just about like, it doesn't like go as far as just like, my younger siblings as well. It's like also like if I was to have a child like in the future, and I would want them to make sure they understand that like, racism is gonna last like for a very long time. And I once saw like this video of this one woman, shouting at this like person, like saying, like I'm gonna teach my children to hate you people, and like that was crazy to me. Like to think that like there are people out there that will also teach their children, that to hate black people, So I think it's very important as well that we teach our children and our younger siblings that like racism is going to last for a very long time, but we have to like try our best to change those that like come and like try and make insults at us, try and make us angry, and at least let them see that black people aren't as bad as they think they are, and hopefully change their views so that they can also teach their kids to accept black people and stop like spreading around like hatred as well. So I think that's like very important. As like I said, teach them, understand that it's a part of their identity, and like there's like some black people that will also be terrible to other black people as well, but at the end of the day, racist people really don't care if you are on their side or not, because you are still black, and they will like use you until they don't need you anymore. So letting the fact that they are black being a part of their identity will help them, so then they don't fall into that kind of like hating other black people for being black, and just not realizing that white people who are racist hate you just as much, So yeah, that's very important as well. Yeah.
So just touching on one of Leslie's points, Lennox, do you feel that there's like some racists that can change their mind and like understand that people should be treated in like equal eyes and treated equally?
You mean racists in general, or
do you think they should like? Do you think they can change? Do you think they can like not all of them, but do you think there's like some minds that can be changed because of Black Lives Matter and education about equality and things like that?
so like can racists be changed?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think for some it's more difficult for some people to comprehend than others, because it's based on like experiences, and obviously they think what they're doing is it's not doing like people any harm. Like if they just make a little racial comment, they don't think that it's hurting the person, but like deep down, like obviously we can mask our emotions, but like on the outside, but on the inside, like it really like can affect someone. So I think it's just getting them to understand what they're doing is okay. I think they need to, once they understand like the consequences of their actions, then like I think that's when they'll fully be able to understand and change their ways. But yeah, it's just all about spreading awareness really, and that's what the Black Lives Matter campaign is all about. And the more awareness and the more people that can be aware of why racism is not okay, then the better it will be for future generations, our younger siblings, our kids, our grandkids one day, like yeah.
So just to touch on one of your points, Lennox, do you feel like it's not just the individual comments, it's like comment after comment after comment building up, and it kind of creates an identity, like a negative identity and effect on you collectively over time?
Goodness. I'd say both. I feel like even just like one little comment can like you can think about that for like a long period of time. Like there's even like, for example, we were talking about before, like there's even like little racial comments that happened like years ago, and we can still remember those today. You know, I don't know. It's quite difficult to. I don't know. It's difficult. I don't know how to say it in words. Leslie, what do you think?
Yeah, it's also pretty difficult as well.
Yeah.
To explain. But I think like a lot of those kind of comments will very much it can be very effective in a bad way, you know. But yeah, really like what I keep saying, you know, at the end of the day, you know, if you learn about these kind of things that are wrong to say, then we can, you know, again, I don't think that racism is going to go anytime soon. There's always going to be people who will hate others for something that they can't change. But like, if we can teach others at an early age that, you know, it's fine, you know, it's okay, if they are like that, then they'll grow up understanding that and, you know, accept it as well. Will it be perfect? No, I don't think it will be perfect. There's still always that kind of like, well, in my experience, you know, I wouldn't think that way, but like, you know, you're not black, you know, so, you know, as much as you do think that it would be okay to you, you wouldn't really understand because, well, you haven't been through that experience. So, you know, it's just really all about educating them and at least reducing it is important. Yeah.
Thank you guys. I've got one more question for you. It's quite deep, so that's why I've kind of left it for last. So, like, what is kind of like, it's kind of a two-sided question. So, what is the worst effect of your life of racism / like what is like kind of the worst experience you've ever had with it throughout your life up until now, really? And if we start with Leslie again.
The worst experience for racism. I think it's mostly like on social media, really. You see a lot of just black people, white people, Asian people. Like, you know, there's like a lot of different people that would say what they think about black people. And you know, seeing a lot of that, it kind of makes you feel like, you know, are we, you know, the bad guys? You know, are we like, you know, causing this much trouble to people? You know, but it's like, it, you know, arguably, you know, it's a small, you know, amount of people who think that, you know, compared to like the human race.
Yeah.
You know, because like I think there are a lot of people who have now accepted, you know, black people and, you know, don't hate them. But then there are a couple that's like, you know, that just hate them, you know, for a reason that like they've been brought up to thinking that, or they've seen on the internet, you know, and they just think that's how it is, you know, that's like how they act. So yeah, it's just mostly like media, social media is like Twitter, especially that like really show me like the worst that racism can go to, and just in like history, you know, also find out like what happened to black people. It's like, wow, I would not want to go through that kind of thing, you know, and it surprises me that black people did go through that, you know, simply for the color of their skin. So, you know, that would be my worst experiences. Not something that happened directly, you know, to me, but, you know, realizing what has happened to the black people, you know, in history in general, you know, it also like, you know, kind of hurts. Yeah.
So, Lennox, what's your point of view on this?
You know, I was stuck at one point, and then I realized that, yeah, I can literally completely agree with Leslie. I don't think it's something that's happened directly to me. I think it's seeing what's happened to other people of my kind. Like, I remember seeing like the whole police brutality in like America, like the George Floyd incident. I remember there's been so many incidences like that happened before that, but the only reason like people like are acknowledging the George Floyd one was because it was caught on camera. You know, there's so many more times it's happening. It's not even just happening to adults, it's happening to like kids as well. Like there's kids literally in America, well, black kids that are scared to go out even to like the park or just to go to the shops with their mates just because they're like scared of getting shot. You know, parents are worried that every time their kids like set foot out of the door, like even to go to school, like just because they're worried that, you know, they're in danger all the time. And like, I don't know, it just makes you realize that like we could literally be one of those kids, you know, like those kids have not done anything wrong, you know, they're innocent, they're just, you know, getting about with their lives, and, you know, they're in danger every day just because of their skin color and just because they're black. Like, it's just disgusting, to be honest. Like, I think, yeah, so I'd say that's the worst thing, seeing other people of my kind paying, well, suffering just because of who they are and their skin color. Like, it's just, I don't know, it just hurts, like, because it just hurts. I think it hurts more knowing that that could be me. Like, there's kids where like even our age that are even dying for no reason, like getting shot by police, or not even just by police, but just being discriminated by literally anyone based on stereotypes, things they've seen online. But then, like Leslie said, like some people have been brought up that way, so they don't really know they're doing wrong. They're just doing what they've been taught since they were kids. So it's just one of those things where we have to spread awareness as much as possible. Hopefully, the more people that we can educate, the better. Racism has always been there for so long, and probably will still be there for a while. But the more change that we can make, then the better, to be honest. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys, for answering all those questions. I know a lot of it will have been quite tough because it's kind of like, you know, bringing things back to about your life. But yeah, thank you for shining a light on a really, you know, tough issue that it's going to be faced for decades to come, isn't it? You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's all about pushing forward. You know, just keep going. Yeah.
Facts. As long as progress is being made, then I think that's what's important, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wanted to quickly ask, is you said that your brother was coming around 5? Is he waiting for you?
No, they're not here just yet. Luckily. So.
Okay, cool. Me and Let's usually go on for about an hour and a half. What time? We started at 4, didn't we?
Around 4, I think. Yeah. Oh.
Is there anything you guys want to discuss? Not even related to BLM, just like anything in general.
First of all, actually, about black people, there is a cartoon that I would recommend, you know, black people to watch, Craig of the Creek, where the main character is a black kid, and there are episodes where it's like centered around his family, and like it's an amazing show, by the way. You know, like seeing that and like seeing like a very realistic situations with like a black family. It's like really good to see, honestly, that a cartoon like that exists, you know. So yeah, I gotta give them props for that. So yeah.
Is it on YouTube?
I mostly see on like Cartoon Network, to be honest. So, yeah. Yeah. It's more like something like, you know, show your kids, you know. So that.
Oh yeah, by the way, the clips I showed you before, it's on Amazon Prime. It's not all about racism, but I just thought like I just really like the show This Is Us because it just shows like loads of different families from a variety of like races and you know, gender and stuff. And yeah, I just thought it was, if you guys ever come across it, it's an addictive series to watch. There's about 5 series. It's a sitcom.
I say like the father was being like, you know, very respectable towards the son, you know, like trying to at least get to understand the son, you know, like I respect him for that. So yeah.
Jeez. What a day. What a day! Like it's just I don't know. I'm just kind of appreciating what we've just done. Like I've just realized like when you were like we started at 4, I was like, wow, we've done this for, like an hour and like almost an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just been good to like express, all the experiences we've been through. Like it's been inspiring to hear. Like even like Leslie, like some of things you've been through. I think that's been pretty good. Like Josh's questions, very good questions, I'd say. So yeah,
Yeah,
fair play
very
to
good
Josh for
questions.
that. Yeah,
Thanks,
very
guys.
deep. We ended very deep as well, which is kind of
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I think it's just good to talk about this stuff. Like these are the conversations that, the deep conversations that people would normally avoid because like they find it like awkward and uncomfortable. But these situations are important and definitely need to be addressed for sure.
Like some of the questions I was thinking of asking was like kind of the ones that I've wanted to kind of ask, but I was like, I don't really want to ask you guys this on a Monday morning when we're back in precinct. It's a bit too deep. But yeah. But
yeah.
I'm glad you guys have been able to speak about it because I'm sure there's like I'm trying to think like what the audience of the base will be. I assume it'll be mostly white, so I think it'll be I think it'll
At
be
least
interesting.
educational,
Yeah. Madness. No, it's sick. It's sick what we've done. I hope as many people see this as possible. I feel like the more people that see it, the better. I was gonna say something. I forgot now. Sugar. Oh no. I've forgotten. I'll think about it.
I really want to show this to Leslie, but I don't know if I want to embarrass you or not, Lennox.
Wait, show me what?
Your 700 viewed video.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't seen this. Like, hold on.
Oh my. Okay, basically, just to explain before you see it. So I did an event I put it on my Insta story actually. Like the video where I was like, shout out to ACS for doing this, Manchester. It's a take me out video that I was part of. And I didn't realize it was going to be recorded live. It was going to be live streamed. I didn't know it was being recorded. And then as soon as it went up, it was on like 700 views. I was like, oh my gosh, I was just part of that. I was one of the main characters for like half of this show. I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, but yeah, I definitely said some mad stuff, and there was a lot of mad funny stuff in the video. Oh, the video's hilarious, bro. You need to see it. You won't disappoint. Even Josh liked it.
I watched the whole thing. It was like 2.5 hours, and I was like, wow, damn,
crazy. You said we were going to react to that at one point or something.
Yeah, I feel like we need to do it justice because it's such a good video. What I'll do is I'll put it in the chat box for Leslie to if Leslie ever gets bored over the next 2 weeks. I feel
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen at some point.
It's gonna happen during a lockdown. Is it called the North Take Me Out, Lennox?
I think so. Or if you just like search up like Northumbria University, like Northumbria Student Unions, I think it's on their channel. Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be on YouTube, to be honest. Like, I'm glad it was though, because I was able to watch it back. Because yeah, hilarious. I think what made it funny is like the classic, like the black like reactions were on it. Like, do you know what people would be like when someone says something outrageous like Jesus of Nazareth, stuff like that, like Jesus or Jesus, stuff like that, like yeah, it's hilarious. Oh,
I got this link, man.
Oh, I think it's good as well because you're not just seeing random people. Like I'm on it, so like you can just enjoy me as well.
Yeah, just watch it because he's in it. Like, what more do you need to know about?
What more do you need?
Like, I could have stopped after Lennox, but I was just like, I'm addicted to this now anyway, so...
yeah, I realized I was watching, like, I was an hour into it, and then after my part, I was just like, do you know what? I want to watch more. Like, it's actually addictive. Like, you can't... It's mad.
Yeah, I was like... It's just because, like, the thing that drew me into it was like, oh, take me out online, and then Lennox, gets to get an opportunity to get a date. What else should I watch? This is a decent thing to watch.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was
by the way, Lennox, what uni did you go to as well?
I go Uni of Manchester.
Yeah.
I think
University
you.
of
I remember during pre-sale you were like you wanted to go to that too, or was it a different
Yeah.
uni? Uni of.
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
it?
also University of Manchester, but like they didn't get back to me like at all.
Oh,
so,
shit.
yeah.
Oh really? Oh
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah.
Oh no, we could have gone the same uni. No.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, I'm thinking now
fuming.
like either Salford or Falmouth now. So yeah.
Okay, so we can still see each other then, because Salford's
Yeah.
not that far.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
calm.
Well, me and Lennox were like it'll be third year by then. In third year, you're in Salford, then we could like try and get you into live in the house if
Oh my god.
but
That'd be so sick. Oh my god.
That would be yeah.
because like me and Lennox were like we were like we need to invite Leslie for second year housing, but then like because you're like in that like point where you're still at Priestley and don't know if you got in or not. I was like, damn, if only they could have given Leslie a fast track pass.
Yeah.
That would be epic. But yeah.
Mad. The base podcast, you know. It's so weird because like we're always learning. Like I watched this. I actually like the main reason like I'm like educating myself by like learning about even like black people more and like black culture and black history is like I watched this show called Blackish. I don't know if you've heard of it. But
Yeah.
I've heard.
have you watched Blackish? Have you seen it?
Yeah. I've seen
Finally.
Blackish, yeah.
Bro, I've asked so many people if they've seen it and no one's seen it. Bro, that show is hilarious. It's hilarious and it also like teaches you about black people as well. Like, what a show! Oh my god, have you actually seen it?
Yeah. I mostly saw like the first season. Yeah, it was like, yeah,
Oh,
it
really?
was. Yeah.
I've definitely heard of it before. I'm gonna Google it because I can like when you like I've got a faint memory of something in your head. I'm gonna see if it matches up.
Yeah, it's mad. It literally addresses so much, like all the black stuff that's going on, like black people. Like it addresses so much. Oh, it's so sick. Like that show's taught me a lot about black people. Like it's ridiculous. Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. Is it on Prime or Netflix?
I think it's on Prime, but you may have to buy it.
I hate when Prime do that.
But,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, but you can watch it
at least
on
with like Netflix. You know, it's just like
it might be on Netflix. I don't know.
Well.
Yeah,
because like on Netflix, like some shows just like you watch them. You know, you have a subscription for Netflix. You know, just watch them. But on Prime, you need to buy some of them. And it's like, why?
yeah, true. It might be on Netflix. Check it, but yeah. Or you could just find it on 123movies.net.
Oh, that site is so techy. Like, I've been watching All America because Lennox has been watching it, and like Lennox was like, "Oh, go on to 123movies," and I'm like, "What the heck is this website?"
It's one of those like, do you know, like free movies websites, and it just comes up with bare ads all the time. Yeah, one of them. It's bad tech. Have you heard of it?
You know, not so good adverts. You know, on there.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah, it's a madness. Have you seen All American, Leslie?
No, I've never even heard of it until now.
Yeah, it's like a. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's actually a TV series based on a NFL player's life. It's called Spencer Pasinger. It's about his life and his experiences and what he went through. He actually moved from his hometown to Beverly, and in order to achieve his dream to get into the NFL. That's the whole storyline. But he gets into like relationship drama, this and that, like family issues, etc. So yeah, it addresses a lot of like black like people like situations as well, which is pretty decent. Yeah.
I'm gonna try and watch episode 2 tonight.
Episode 4. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you love episode 4. Apparently, it's very dramatic.
Bro, when you see it, you're gonna be like, "Oh, this is what Lennox was talking about." Oh my gosh. So what's it? What's going on for? Actually, wait. Before we end the podcast, what are you guys doing for lockdown? What are you doing, Leslie, during lockdown? What have you been up to?
During lockdown, I'm doing a bit of animation actually.
Jeez.
Yeah. Also drawing as well. So that's also a thing that I'm doing now. It's just like I'm in the middle of a game design project, so that's like what the animation is for. So yeah, we just get to do whatever we want really for our project, whatever might help us. So this is the perfect opportunity to get more into animation. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Now that's it. I've been seeing your drawings and your like animations on your Insta like story and your posts, and I'm like, dang, these are really good. Like you can really like see the progress. You're just getting better and better each time. It's nuts. Yeah.
It's like we're friends with like an artist and like a professional animator as well. It's mad.
Jeez, yeah, for real.
I'm saying I'm a professional animator. Yeah. Hopefully one day.
Inshallah, bro. Inshallah. Oh boy. What's next?
Next in like, what do you mean?
I don't know, like the podcast, innit? We've like discussed about, the main like Black people and Black Lives Matter. Like we talked about lockdown a bit. Well, I mean, today's Valentine's as we're recording right now.
Oh, that's
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Have you guys got Valentine's?
No, I got nothing. Same as usual.
My mum kind of like guilt tripped me because she was like, Valentine's Day is also about celebrating your family, and I was like, is it? I wasn't aware of it.
Not a lot of people see it that way,
Oh,
and Snapchat has also told me that, and I'm like, I don't know if I believe that. I don't think it is.
Yeah.
What is it? Valentine's Day is actually just a day basically to celebrate love. But like, I feel like people just see that as people in relationships, but it's actually like loving everyone, family, friends, If you're lucky enough to be in a relationship, then your partner, but obviously we don't have that.
Yeah, we don't have stuff like that,
Oh my god.
Here are some chocolate.
Oh, it's not.
Valentine's Day. I was like, oh, thanks, Mum. I'm gonna get us something in the next couple of days just to, be like, oh yeah, I definitely didn't think this was, I just thought it was just couples, but
Wait, Josh, do you have a Valentine's Day? Valentine's date?
No.
Really?
No.
I heard something from Kian about. I don't know if I want to say it or not. You want me to say it?
Is it okay to keep on camera or not?
No, it's not. It's not explicit. But Kian said, since you don't have a Valentine's date, your Valentine's date will be your right hand.
that is a fire.
Yeah, that is just. That is definitely Kian, all right. Yeah.
Coming from Kian, like
classic.
Like probably like the most viewed website by Kian is Pornhub. Like that's a lot. But
yeah.
I'll leave it there.
No, I'm a staker.
I'll leave it there. You know what? Leslie, like Lennox could be such a snake at times. So like, what the other day I was like, Lennox was watching it when I interviewed him for his channel, and he filmed a bit where I was roasting Kian and then posted it onto the Snapchat group chat. They're all.
Oh god.
I'm sorry. I'm just, my job's just to spice life up a bit. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
For comedic effect, yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh dear. It's so sad that Kian couldn't be with us. He was supposed to be with us, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I messaged him yesterday and I said, "Look, Kian, are you up for the podcast?" And he was like, "I'm feeling a bit tired over the past few days, and I'm also drunk right now." So, and today, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm hungover now, so I can't make it." I was like, "Oh, all right, Kian, you do you."
It's just classic Kian, isn't it? It's just classic Kian. Gosh.
Oh, bless him.
But you know what? I've got an idea of what we could kind of like end on. So, have you guys seen one of the viral things going on about this like church parish meeting, and then it got leaked on the internet?
I haven't seen anything on that.
No, I haven't either. What is it?
Oh, madness! Right. Let me get it up. I think it's quite a quick clip. So there's this woman who was like heading the meeting, and then these two men have been a bit rude with her, and like she's an absolute boss on it. Right, I'll see if I can share it 1 second. But yeah, like it's trending quite a lot at the moment on the online. One of the positive sides of the internet, compared to what we've been talking about today.
Oh gosh, that is a contrast for sure.
So there's this one, another quick one. But yeah, this is the one that made me laugh.
Hello again.
Hello again.
Can you hear the sound?
Yeah.
Cool.
I thought I wasn't going to get in then.
When do we plan to start?
Well,
I think we could start any moment, Chairman. I think it's perhaps helpful just to go through the same things we went through before, which is just to encourage people to switch off their microphones,
Sorry, I paused back something.
because it does reduce the background.
Can we be assured that we won't be thrown out of the meeting like we were last time?
As long as we have reasonable behaviour from everyone, no one would be excluded from the meeting.
I was thrown out of the meeting. So was Councillor Burtell. So was Councillor Burtell. Please let the chairman
Mrs. Weaver, please.
If you disrupt this meeting, I will have to remove you from it.
You can't.
It's only the chairman who can remove people from a meeting. You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver. No authority at all.
She's just kicked him out. No, she's kicked him out. Don't. She's kicked him out. Don't.
This is a meeting called by two
it's
councillors.
too late.
Illegally?
They now elect a chairman.
No, they can't because the vice chair's here. I take charge. Read the standing orders. Read them and understand them.
Where's the chairman?
Read the standing orders. It then reverts to me.
Where's the chairman gone?
Like to elect a chairman for this meeting.
You don't have to elect a chairman. There's a chairman already installed. The chairman of the council.
Councillor Burkle, we've been through this.
You don't. What are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about.
Could I ask you to be respectful to Jackie Weaver, please?
Jackie Weaver, I find that the person on Alec Bruton's Zoom is being very disrespectful to everybody.
Oh, coming from you, from Birkenhead, that sounds good. Wow.
Thank God for that.
Can I propose John Smith, please?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Okay. My first point is to apologise to Jackie, but welcome to Handforth.
Indeed, it's nothing if not lively in Handforth.
Yes, but what I would say is that it was a very good example of bullying within Cheshire East and the environs.
The chairman simply declared himself clerk and notified everybody of the case, and the remaining members, quite correctly, have refused to recognise that position. But as Councillor Smith says, I'm afraid there's no way of stopping him calling himself clerk. Please refer to me as Britney Spears from now on.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
She owned that meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, she did. She did.
How did you find that video, Lennox?
Jesus of Nazareth, Lord of mercy. What the hell did I just watch? Oh my gosh.
It was such like a mess, you know.
I know.
Old people are like a different kind of people, man. I'm still not looking forward to becoming one of them.
Old people. Oh my gosh. I think when you're old, you just don't really care about life anymore. You're just like, I can do whatever now.
Yeah, you know, the only surprise now in life is death.
Oh gosh. Oh no. What
Right,
is going on?
This is the other one.
Oh, it's BBC News. Sick.
Can you hear me, Judge? I did not know that Zoom could turn me into a cat, and I did not know that a cat Zoom could turn me into an internet celebrity, but it all happened in just a matter of hours.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to take
we're trying to. Can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I can see that.
Got on the Zoom. Everything seemed fine. When my picture popped up, I was in the waiting room with the judge. When the judge called the case, I disappeared and a cat appeared instead of me. To my great surprise, of course, and took a little bit of time, and we finally figured out how to get rid of the cat video. In Texas, we have a phrase: you can't put toothpaste back in the tube. And if this was going to become an internet sensation, I just had to laugh at myself along with everybody else doing so, and roll with it.
I just loved how it turned into a cat, you know, and didn't realize it. Lennox looks like he's just like seeing death.
Nah, sorry, bro. My mum's moving mad. That is jokes, you know. It was such a serious meeting. Man's got a cat filter. That is hilarious. I might try that when I'm older.
You're just in like a pharmacy meeting in your big business, and you're like, I'm just gonna be a cat on Zoom.
Yeah, why not? Or maybe like a dog, like a rat.
Why not?
Right. Wait, what happens now?
Well,
is that it then?
Anything like while you're on here, Leslie? Is there anything you want to like speak about before we all go?
Isn't it, Leslie? I've not heard from you in ages. I've not seen you in time, man. I've missed my brother.
Yeah, it's mostly because my brother's not here now. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, it's been a good podcast, and in the next, we'll invite you on in the next, like, I don't know, episode 6 or something but yeah, it won't be about Black Lives Matter. It'll just be to have like a nice dose of Leslie in the episode.
That'll be nice.
And Kian if he turns up.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully if he turns up. Yeah.
Hopefully he won't be hungover.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I'll just say, to black people out there, keep striving forward,
Hey,
and
yes.
Don't give up, Yeah.
Come on.
Also, before you go, is there any like any of your socials that you want to promote, just so people can see your artwork and like stuff you do with programming?
Yeah, my Twitter, Leslie Cara. That's literally just the name of it. I just do animations and drawings there, trying to get better.
Sure. So, yeah. Leslie, by the way, do you have Snapchat?
No, I still don't have Snapchat now.
Gosh. Some things never change.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be so iconic to have Leslie as like another member of the me, Leslie. Well, it's expanded now, isn't it? It's me, Leslie, Kian, and then Kate and Esther and all that.
Yeah. Are you going to join back in?
Keen asked me. Oh yeah, I'll give a bit of context. I'll do it quickly before Leslie gets summoned away. So because Keen was just being a dickhead for years, I was like, I need a key break, so I'm gonna leave the group chat and come back. But then when I left the group chat, more people entered. So yeah, but I'm gonna join back with everyone and more people to talk to. No hassle. Anyway, thank you for coming on, Leslie. We will. Me and Lennox will DM you at some point and have a chat. Well, yeah, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Yeah. All right, see you guys then.
See you later.
See you later, man.
Bye.
Wow.
What happens now? That was good. Wait,
yeah,
is this still part of the podcast?
Well, I can cut out the bits you want me to cut out.
I don't care, man. As long as I'm on camera, that's all I care about.
Your screen time.
Yeah. I need, as clearly the video show, that I like getting as much screen time as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, do you want to react to like 5 minutes of it just to kind of show how amazing it is as a sculpture of a video?
Do you know what the problem is? Yeah, the first 5 minutes of the video is literally like, I think it's like before it starts, there's like a bit where it's just Manny like trying to figure out how to get everyone in the Zoom. But yeah, I don't mind watching a couple of minutes of it.
Okay.
Shout out Leslie, make sure you follow Leslie's socials. What a legend, by the way. He's a lovely guy.
Leslie was great. It's just nice to hear from him again. It's been such a long time.
Oh, mate, honestly.
Because like Leslie's gonna speak to his family and stuff, so it's been a while since I had a proper chat with him.
Yeah, Leslie's my favorite. I'm joking. I don't have favorites.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, I actually don't have favorites. Yeah.
Not best mates anymore.
You know what? I can't have a favorite because all of you guys are so different. So like, we can't really choose like who's better.
We're all very different. Yeah. True.
Wait, Northumbria. Have you got it?
I'm gonna have dyslexic spelling. Wait. Right.
Comes up like 800. Oh shit! It's actually gone up.
842 views.
Fucking hell. Gee, wow. Big time in that. Oh look, come to the thumbnail. Come on. Boom.
Sick, isn't it? Should I go in 10 minutes into it?
Ooh. I'll go to the part where Manny like introduces, like he announces the show.
Right. Wait. That's like
about that.
Green.
Yeah. Hi. I'm William. I do linguistics at Newcastle Uni, and I should get a date because I'm a good time.
Jeez.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself besides you go to Newcastle? Tell us one interesting fact about you.
Manny was like, "Why are you not saying enough?"
Goodness. Oh god.
I was born in Cameroon, came to England when I was 2 years old.
Cap.
I was actually deported on my first attempt to England.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
Guys, if you're not a panelist, could you just keep your mics muted, please? And if you guys can kind of
what a stinker.
Put your actual names on screen. Right. Okay. So first up, we have William on my screen. So next off we have Yusufa.
Yo. My name is Yusufa. I'm 20 and I go to Northumbria Uni in Newcastle. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Fun fact about me, I'm from Senegal. I speak French, and I lived in Madagascar for 8 years.
You know what? You're the first person in my life I've ever met from Madagascar. I've only ever seen like the show.
It's a real place.
You've seen. That's mad. You know what? That's pretty sick. What language?
I swear, like it's like you'd learn a new truth about the world when he heard about that. Then,
hey, Manny.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh shit, someone from Madagascar."
True. To be fair, like I don't think I've ever met anyone from Madagascar, ever.
No.
It's very rare.
Madness.
Who do you speak there?
Madagascar.
You know what? I'm gonna ask you to drop us some fire later on, fam, because this is completely new to me. And tell me.
Yo, so I'm Temi. I'm from the Durham University, studying computer science, but I'm actually from London. And I guess an interesting fact about myself is that the first time I went skiing was in my university, and I fell down the side of a mountain and nearly broke a leg.
See, this is exactly why I don't do exploring all these skiing and all these things here. You know, I'm a land mammal. Let me just stay on land.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm a
land mammal. And why should you get a day today?
Just Valentine's is coming up, so can't get my mind.
Oh. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Actually, no, we didn't even ask Yusufa. Yusufa, so why should you get a day today?
Why should I get a day today?
Why should you get a day today?
I mean, we're out here for fun, so we might as well have someone to do it with.
What do you mean for fun, bro? This is serious business.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, find someone you can connect with,
You can see the start of Manny's sass like seeping through the video.
Yeah. He's starting to dig into us now. Oh boy.
Okay, cool. All right, that's fair. Enrico, what are you saying, fam? What are you telling me?
My name is Enrico.
Oh, damn. Microphone. Bro, get closer to the microphone because it sounded like you were muffling, like somebody was trying to fight. Hello?
Yeah.
There we are. Okay, there we are.
Yeah, my name is Enrico. I go to Northumbria University. I study finance and investment. And fun fact, right now, I'm just looking at the gold market, £150 up right now. So we're laughing, we're smiling, something to do.
So, and why should you get a date besides the fact that you don't have money?
No, to be fair, it's not about even the money, but the reason I should get a date is one conversation in 5 years' time could lead you to be a millionaire. So, interesting facts right there.
You know what? I respect it. You went straight to the point. Okay.
Trying to be a millionaire, come hang around with me.
We're trying to make it out the hood. Vinny.
Yeah, my name is Ovini. People call me Vini, Ovi, whatever you want to call it. I go to Sunderland University. I study law. I'm from Dublin, Ireland. And the reason why I think I should get a date today is because I can brighten someone's day in it. So.
Valentine.
Where's your boyfriend?
Where's your boyfriend? You are sitting at home.
Lonely. Let's go. Move on. Rashad.
Yeah. My name's Rashad. People call me Rich. I'm from the Bahamas. So it's pretty far from here. I'm a master's student at York. So doing public policy. And anyone who wants a taste of the islands, I guess that's why I should get a date.
I respect it. Straight to the point. Daniel, what are you telling me, my guy?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, my name's Daniel. From Manchester, go to Liverpool Uni and I study computer science.
Okay. And what's one interesting fact about you and why should you get a date?
one interesting fact about me is that me and my boys were in Leeds just playing football, and we ended up in a OFB music video.
Damn. That's
All
pretty
right, I
interesting.
respect it. And why should you get a date?
I'm trying to take someone's daughter back to Nigeria to meet their family and that.
I respect.
That's deep.
Jeez, that's like to meet family. You're normally supposed to do that after like you've been in a relationship for like long term.
Damn.
Family, you're mad, bro.
Madness. Should we skip?
I'd never do that.
Well, would you wait a couple of years?
Nah, I don't want to say a couple of years, but at least 6 months.
So he don't want to answer. Rashad, I saw your camera was off for a second. Did you mean turn your camera off?
No, I had to walk away for a second.
Okay, that's
yeah.
Have we still got all cameras? Blake turned his camera off. So Blake, why did you turn your camera off?
She's too lame for me. Can't do it.
She's too lame for you. Okay, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. iPhone. Why do you turn your camera off?
Who you me?
Listen, when we're here, this is a serious thing, fam. You can't just be coming off the thing off on and off, fam. You're there as a panelist. You're ready, fam.
Oh no, my bad. Literally, I got a call in it.
Right. So you were saying that like gives a bit of insight to give a bit of extra insight. Lennox was like there's like a chat down the side that obviously they couldn't film, but apparently everyone loved the guy in the car.
Yeah, not this guy, not the iPhone guy. There's another guy you'll see.
There's another car guy.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is, but he's like a light skin. I'll show you him when he comes up. But yeah, he's like a light skin, but he's in the dark. But you can tell he's light skin, and then all the girls loved him. It was a bit mad.
I just put my phone in do not disturb. I didn't turn it off though.
Your camera's so cool. Daniel M. Why did you turn the camera off?
Did I even see the girl? I don't know why I got for my phone.
Oh, we need to pin her then. Right. Okay, let me pin her. Sorry. We'll go back. Pinned. There she is. Can you guys see her now?
What is going on?
Okay. Right. Cinderella.
No one's talking.
Cinderella, could you tell us?
Wait, Josh, wait. Pause it.
Your name, age.
Yeah. What did you think of this girl? Did you think she was fit?
If I'm being honest, like dreads and stuff, like I understand it's obviously culturally important, but I don't find it attractive personally.
Oh shit! Oh. Now, do you know what? I kind of agree with you. Well, until I saw All American season 3, Olivia wears braids now, and she looks absolutely phenomenal. So.
But Olivia always looks good even from me only watching episode 1.
Yeah, true. But like, I'll send you a picture of her after the podcast, like of her with braids from season 3. Oh my gosh, bro, it's mad. But like, I'm like 50-50 with the braids. Like, I don't know. I'm not really fussed, but like, I don't mind them. But they're not my go-to. Like, I like natural hair.
First?
Yeah.
What degree you're studying and which country?
Okay. So I am called Cinderella. I go to Sunderland Uni and I'm doing cosmetic science. I'm from Zim. Not all Zims are trash. And yeah, I'm 19 years old. I'm a first year.
Okay.
What I like a lot of the time, obviously I was trying to there's obviously like references I don't understand. I've heard there's like kind of a lot of history with like typically like black countries having like rivalry and stuff and like stereotypes about each other.
It's actually a thing, you know.
What is so like bad about stereotypically bad about Zim?
No, there's nothing bad about Zim. Like, there's actually nothing bad about Zim. I think like the racism is like, well, not the racism, but I'd just say the discrimination / stereotypes. Like, for example, I know Nigerian people and like people from like Ghana, they have like a bit of rivalry in terms of like the jollof rice. That's the type of rice that they both make, and they both argue like whose is better, this and that. Like people like to discriminate against Nigerians because like scammers and that. So like we don't really see it as discrimination. It's more of like kind of like teasing each other, But yeah, I think it's just stereotypes. Yeah.
I guess it's different because it's like it's not really a power imbalance because like you all kind of have the same like inequality to deal with. So I guess it's kind of just more it's like cultural jokes. Is that fair to say? I don't know.
I think kind of, yeah.
But yeah, I just find it really interesting. Like when we I was watching later on in the video, some like men and women were like, "Oh, you're from here. I'm not going to date you anymore." I was like, "Wow, that's outrageous."
I know, literally made no sense. It's like I've had past experiences with girls from Nigeria. I'm just like, they're not all going to be the same. Like, it makes no sense.
Madness. Mad. I'll just have a look what time it is now.
What time is it? Just so it's 6. Just so.
We could like have one more minute and wrap it up if you want.
Wait, 1 more minute of the video.
Yeah, and then because we could I feel like we can give this like proper reaction in maybe on GSM Reacts or something. But I just thought this was a nice like bit of it so people could get an understanding of what the video is about and stuff.
Yeah, sure, why not? Jeez, I'm big time.
Mate, I bet you were, before we move on, I bet you were buzzing because like you had 800 views. I know it wasn't like fully your video, but you were part of the video, so madness.
I didn't even know like it was going to be on YouTube. Like I thought it was just, at first I thought it was for fun. Like, I almost didn't participate in it. I almost didn't sign up for it. I was just like, why not? And then I did it. I'm like, I'm so gassed. It's like 800 views. That's madness.
It's mad, isn't it? Like, imagine like your employer when like 10 years down the line they're doing like like when you're in work, sometimes they do like a fact check on you, and then they just type in your name into YouTube, and it comes up with "Take me out, Universities of the North."
Oh my god! Do you know what? I think this video will actually help me because like they'll see how terrible I am with girls, and then they'll feel like sorry for me, and then they'll give me the job, or maybe even give me a promotion.
You know, anything that can help.
Why not?
Oh man! All right.
Yeah.
That's fine. And then, could we please?
My Instagram for people asking is Cinderella M. So the same way it's spelled on here, and then M.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, God.
Bro, are you checking out our Instagram now?
Wait, what?
Are you gonna follow her on Instagram?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I feel like I have to because she's from Zim. But yeah, she's not my type, but yeah, I'll follow her. Why not?
Ooh, jeez.
Nah, that's not diss. I'm just being honest, isn't it? Like you said like you don't like it because she has braids on.
Oh. I say that on the same episode as a Black Lives Matter podcast. I feel like I'm not going to come out this far.
Nah, but I don't think it's discrimination. I just think it's personal preference.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I can change your mind though.
Yeah, maybe. Like I am quite.
I'll send you a picture of Liv. Oh, mate. You'll see what I mean. Don't worry.
Madness. Great. I'm gonna carry on watching this. All American just for.
Oh, you're so lucky because like I remember being like in your position where like it's still the show's like new to you and you see it from the start. And yeah, episode 4 gassed me up way too much.
I'm excited for it.
Like that show, All American, makes me hope that one day I might find true love as well.
Imagine us watching this back when we're married, like in 10 years or whatever.
10 years. I was thinking about this. 10 years from now, I'll be 28. You'll be actually.
You'll be 28. I'll be 29.
Jeez, you're looking a bit old. Oh no.
Damn.
Wait, didn't you say you want to find the one next?
I feel this sounds really bad out of context, but like my sister's kind of found people in like first year, second year, so I'd hope
Ooh.
like I'd need 1 or 2 more relationships to find the right person, but maybe I'm being too optimistic.
I don't think that's being talked to me. I think that's the right mindset. Like, you don't want to just be in little short-term relationships for the rest of your life.
I don't know, because like it's hard because Callum Day and Josh Bragg, who are my sister's partners, are just iconic people. They're amazing people. So I'm not sure if I can live up to that standard in a woman I meet's eyes, but
Gee, bro, relax, Josh. You need to know your self-worth.
That's what Manny said to you on the video later on.
Oh yeah, he actually did, yeah.
Oh man.
Oh dear. Right, what happens now? Do we?
I don't know. I don't want to ruin it because I feel like we could end up skipping past really important bits.
I say we save it for the React video on your channel. Let's save some views for your channel.
True. I just get too carried away with the internet,
It's addictive, the video, to be fair.
It's a decent video.
Also, can we just can the audience appreciate that Josh has now got a mic? Like, how mad is that?
Madness. I'm happy I've got it because I feel a bit more professional. I'm interested.
You want to take YouTube seriously, mad?
Yeah, I like to do the things the best I can. So got some good audio and some webcam.
Jeez.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we'll have to round off. But I'll stop sharing this. So yeah, it's thank you for watching today. It's been quite heavy content, but I think it's educational and important to put out there. Before we go, do you think that I should just? I don't know if this one needs to be one that's edited. Maybe I should just release it how it is.
You reckon?
Potentially. I don't know. I don't think there's much we would need to cut out.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that needs to be cut out at all. I actually think everything was pretty decent.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I can just after we've done this, I'll just put it to YouTube then. Sick.
I guess the only thing you can't edit it, but I guess you could add like an intro and outro, and that's pretty much it.
The only thing with the intro, mate, is that the ones I found online are not very serious. So I don't want to like put a Black Lives Matter episode with like a really upbeat intro.
Oh gosh. I'll ask Kian to make one for you.
I guess I could do, but like, I don't know.
As compensation for not turning up.
How dare he? I definitely need to reach out to Kian actually, but yeah, I don't know because I guess it depends how long did it take him to create your intro?
Bro, he created it within like an hour or something, but maybe probably even less than that. He did it so quick. I was surprised. Like even my thumbnail, for example, like for the latest video, he just did that within like 10 minutes. I was like, oh my gosh, Kian, you're so talented. Goodness.
Yeah, it's nice to speak to you and Leslie. I'll hop off the call now and download the video or whatever.
Yeah, great idea. I mean, I'm bursting for toilet anyway. Like I'm literally bursting. I'm a loaded gun right now.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Alley-oop.
Are we using these arguments fairly? Are we? Or are we being biased with this? I could keep going on and on. Every conflict results in people unnecessarily dying, and no one's happy with it. No one's okay with it. No one. But it doesn't invalidate the movement. Because if we're saying that this movement is invalid, because a small segment of it riots and loots, and it's unacceptable, right? If we're saying that, then we have to invalidate every conflict in the world. And I don't think that's an argument that people want to stand on. So that's pretty much all I got. Anything else you want to add?
No. I'm, to be honest, a bit numb seeing people who look like me and my family killed by the police with basically no consequences.
In February 1999, 4 New York City police officers were on patrol in the Bronx when they saw a young black man standing on a stoop. They thought he looked suspicious. When they pulled over, he retreated into the doorway and began digging in his pocket. He kept digging as the police shouted at him to show his hands. A few seconds later, the man, Amadou Diallo, a 23-year-old immigrant from Guinea, was dead, hit by 19 of the 41 bullets that the police fired at him. What Diallo was reaching for was his wallet. He was going for his ID as he stood on the steps of his own apartment building. Diallo's story and the officer's fatal prejudgment of him is recounted in Malcolm Gladwell's 2005 bestseller, Blink.
Someone actually had messaged me and they said, Abba, I know you guys are covering a lot of racial topics, but I know with everything going on, it's so much, but I just wish things could go back to normal. What's so funny?
You're covering a lot of racist things, you know what I mean? But I wish things would go back to normal. It's pretty normal. That's just what it strikes me is all this is pretty fucking normal.
That's fair.
To go back to normal, it's the norm. It's just people are saying something about it, but it's like, what was normal? Nothing was ever normal.
Yeah. Yeah, these things were just happening. They just weren't on your screen.
I'm good. I'm much better now. I think when, everything first hit, it wasn't easy to deal with, especially with, having this kind of feeling where it's just like, why am I used to this?
And we've lived with it for long enough. So I'm glad to see that the national response has been strong.
Here's the thing. I don't want to cover this stuff. I don't want to talk about race. I don't want to cover incidents with police officers. Nope. Man, I just want to laugh at cringy stuff, talk about vulnerability and masculinity and all these other topics that I find are interesting. That's all I want to do. All right, I want to post stand-up stuff. That's all I care. But unfortunately, we live in a world where if we don't repost or discuss a tragic event, nothing happens.
Black Lives Matter hashtag is not something new. It didn't just break out in 2012 after the murder of Trayvon Martin by George Zimmerman. It didn't just break out then. Like, it's been happening. It's just that the hashtag was formulated then. But police brutality, just injustice and things like that have been happening way before that. And I think, obviously, historically, we know that it feeds all the way back to the days of slavery.
All right, take Breonna Taylor. With that no-knock warrant, cops go in there thinking there's going to be, narcotics. They don't find anything. The people inside the residence didn't know it was cops, so they start using their Second Amendment and firing back. Breonna, the medic, she's killed. And now, because of all the uproar, because everyone's been so loud about it, they are banning no-knock warrants. But without that kind of social media presence, without us having to constantly hear these stories and constantly repost things, that kind of legislative change doesn't happen. And it's unfortunate, but we've been quiet about a lot of these topics for a long time, and it's led us here.
No matter the amount of evidence, no matter the lives lost, the excessive force used, there's no way to win.
So the idea that by not talking about it, things will sometime go back to normal. Maybe normal is cool for you. Maybe normal sounds great to you. But for us, our sense of normal isn't the best. And I think the way we move forward as a world, as societies, is that we address our blind spots. We fix our problems and we all move forward together. But it makes no sense to me to not discuss these things because I just don't sleep well if I don't. It's important for us to engage in these conversations, no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how redundant. Maybe there's another voice that hasn't heard this perspective. Maybe there's another person who needs to hear it from this perspective.
And I told you already. I told you before, I was not, I really didn't like the public outrage thing. I didn't like that. It doesn't work. What are you doing that for? You're protesting for what? What was going to happen? I was one of those people. And then I saw what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Wow, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was dead wrong. Because the outrage worked. That's the reason why people are being held accountable. Public outrage. I really was not for it. But then they proved me wrong.
Yeah.
I just want to say, because I know a lot of my audience isn't black, and I may be one of the only black people that you even know or listen to, I have dealt with racism all my life, and it's very much not gone. Contrary to what some people believe, it's not. It's very much here, and if you don't see it, you may just be blind to it, and that's a privilege that you may have.
Your parents telling you at like an age of like 12, or make sure, you know, you're in the right place at the right time. You don't want to, you know, be endangered, or if the police comes, you know, put your head down and, you know, don't look into their eyes, because these are such uncomfortable conversations that my parents were having with me at such a young age. And yeah, so I think the best way to put it is like, you know, white people benefiting from an institution, a system, and just like a lifestyle that even they are not necessarily aware of, like, you know, things such as your surname being able to just get you into the interview.
Black Lives Matter. I love you.